Hello, everyone. Welcome to GenEd 212, Ethics, Technology, and Environment. I'm your professor, Lukas Gurowski, and you can just call me Luke, or when you write your emails, you can say, hi, Luke, dear professor. You can use any of these. Okay, so I decided to record a video so that I give you a bit of an introduction to the course mechanics, and the assignments that are coming up. I think that will be important for you. And the other news item that's important is that the Wednesday meetings that I have set up, they are meetings for office hours, and office hours are not classes. Office hours are meant for consulting ideas, asking questions about assignments, clarifying ideas or concepts, just housekeeping items related to the course. Okay, I will not host classes on Wednesdays from 12 to 2, but I will host office hours. And if you can tune in with specific questions, you need specific clarifications about anything that's course related, that's what it is for. Of course, in addition to that, we have email, and there's also discussion boards for each week that you can engage in with questions, and then either I will answer or other students can answer if they know the answers, okay? Excuse me. And I will show you where that is in a second. So without further ado, well, I hope you're doing well in these crazy times. And of course, I wish I could see you in person in class, but that is not possible. So here we are. It's an online gig for both of us, but hopefully it will be an enjoyable one and very successful for you. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Excuse me. All right, so this is what the course should look like for you from your end, that is. Section 501, it doesn't really matter what section is. There are two other sections, 201 and 202, but basically the content and the setup is the same for all sections that are running. So you got my welcome message with the link for office hours, not classes. Okay, that's different. The rest basically is online. Everything is on eCentennial, and from time to time, probably every week or every other week, I will post videos on specific topics or specific items like evaluations, especially so that you get a better explanation of what is to come, and so that you're better prepared to do the assignments. All right, so if you go to content, excuse me, you have welcome to the course, go over this, meet your professor, a little bit about myself, course, topical outline and course outline. So here you have a breakdown of week by week what's coming up, and this you should treat very seriously. So at the end of week number 2, you have an online quiz, and I will speak about this in a little bit. I'll say a bit more, that is. And then week 4, you have assignment number 1, which is an individual assignment. The online quiz is also individual, and a few other assignments later on are group work, but I'll speak to that a bit more later on. We have, you have artificial intelligence. You have a discussion forum or a discussion group on artificial intelligence, and you also have one on GMOs, that is genetically modified organisms, and there's a group presentation in between. So you can see the course will move pretty quickly. There are quite a few small assignments throughout, so you need to be organized, you need to be diligent, and you need to be on top of everything, okay? That is very important for your success in the course, and I will help you as much as I can in the process. All right, so the quiz is going to be based on the first 2 weeks of content, that is. So week 1, week 2, the first 2 weeks, well, the first 4 weeks, but mainly the first 2 weeks, I will talk about ethics, because that is basically the beginning of the course. This course is a hybrid course. It's designed to teach you a bit about ethics and critical thinking, specifically from the perspective of ethics, how to use ethical theories in order to make judgments, ethical judgments, and also how to critically assess, adjudicate, how to critically think basically about technology. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of technology today that surround us, and a bit about the past of the history of technology, and also looking at technology into the future. So some of the technologies that we will tackle in this course are related to bioethics. So biotechnologies such as gene editing, stem cells, those are quite interesting and in development right now, and in use, of course. We will also look at artificial intelligence, its advantages and disadvantages, and social media. We will look at also the environment, global warming, and the effects of human lifestyle on global warming. So the course is, so that's basically how the course is designed. It's designed to teach you how to think critically from an ethical perspective at the beginning, and then we will look at specific technologies and in general at technology from an ethical perspective, and in more general from a philosophical perspective. So you get a better sense of a more comprehensive education of how to think about technology, because technology is all around us and technology doesn't think really for us. We have to, so therefore we have to think how to use technology, and that is a big part of our lives. So I think this course is quite important, either for the field that you are in, and also as a way of educating you about how to think and use technology personally, and also in broader stroke as members of society. All right, so there's a whole bunch of information here that you're required to go over, okay? As with all the other items here on eCentennial, assignments are here, and you will have descriptions of assignments. Assignment number 1, that is due week 4, and I will set up a specific date for that, is here. And I will speak more about this, but for now, I want you to think about an ethical dilemma. That is, you will use an ethical dilemma to write this assignment. This assignment is written in a formulaic manner. That is, it's a stencil or it's a formula that you, with specific boxes and specific questions, and you basically fill in your answers. So as you can see here, there are specific boxes with specific categories. And for example, the first one here says, describe your dilemma. So in a nutshell, the assignment is about you presenting a moral dilemma, or an ethical dilemma. And then throughout the course, throughout the assignment, you will analyze the dilemma. What are some of the options? What are some of the potential options to solve the dilemma? Who is involved? Which theory you will use, ethical theory that is, to solve the dilemma, and a bit of reflection at the end, okay? So please go over this assignment I will go over this assignment in a bit more detail later on. I will create a video for you where I will go over this assignment in a bit more detail. And of course, you will have time to ask during office hours too. So an ethical dilemma, just to foreshadow this for a second so that you can start thinking about this, is basically a situation where you have two options, okay? So it's a dilemma. So you could either do A or B in a given situation, right? So for example, should I come to Canada and study, or should I stay back home, okay? Now it is a dilemma because it presents each option presents you with different advantages and disadvantages, or benefits and the drawbacks. And that is why it is an ethical dilemma, because each option will have different consequences and they will affect your life and the life of other people in a different way. Of course, we want to make the best possible decision, and that's not always the case, but this is because we're learning, we're developing, thinking ethically. It doesn't come naturally. It needs to be taught and practiced. So this assignment will give me an idea how well you have understood the ethical theories. And if you can apply any of the ethical theories here, you will choose one theory in order to solve your dilemma. So the dilemma you are required to use is something personal that has happened in your life. And I'm sure there are many different examples where we are torn. Should I do A or should I do B? Or if you can't find anything that's related to personal life, which I doubt, because a lot of our actions and decisions revolve around difficult ethical choices, then if you can't find anything or nothing has happened like that in your life, then, which I doubt, but to give you another option is you can use, the world around you. You can basically, whatever comes up in the news, either it's locally in Ontario, in Toronto, in Canada, or internationally, whether it's something related to technology, or whether it's something related to the elections in the United States, or whether it's something related to the vaccine or the vaccine distribution, or long-term homes. There are ethical issues that surround us on a regular basis. So, one simple one could be related to the pandemic. There are specific restrictions around the world. There are specific restrictions in Ontario and Toronto right now. Should I abide by them or shouldn't I? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of abiding by them? What are the benefits of restricting my movements and abiding by the law in order to save lives, in order to think of other people, not just myself or oneself. So should I abide or shouldn't I abide? Should I meet up with my friends or shouldn't I meet up with my friends? So should I visit my family or shouldn't I visit my family? Okay, that is an ethical dilemma, because it has specific consequences. If you do A, if you visit your family, that has specific consequences. If you stay home and restrict yourself, then that has specific consequences. Okay, so in such situations, we are usually torn. Okay, so that's the kind of examples. That's the kind of example or situation I want you to use. It doesn't have to be pandemic related. It can be, but it can be basically related to anything that is personal in your life, or that's something that you have had experience with or had to grapple with in your life thus far. Okay, but I'll speak to this assignment a little bit more later on, but I want you to start thinking about the moral dilemma, and I want you to go over the assignment so you have an idea of what's coming up. This way you will be better prepared and you will most likely do better on the assignment. Okay, the quiz is coming up next week, and the quiz is based on the content from week 1 and week 2. Okay, so moral theories. So here's the quiz, and you'll be able to start it. It's going to look different. It's not going to look like this, because this is a view from my end, but you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to to do it. So you will have about 30 minutes to do the quiz. It's not a long quiz, okay, but you need to study the ethical theories first. Now, the self-check quizzes are at the end of each week, and they are not graded, but they are very important for you because they test your knowledge at the end of each week, or the content for each week. So for example, for week 1, there's a whole bunch of content that you need to study, okay? And then you have the self-check quiz, 5 to 10 questions about the content. So this will give you an idea how well you're moving through the content. You have additional readings that are related to the content here. And we have weekly discussion. Weekly discussions are set up for each week, and here you can basically ask questions in reference to any of the content. You can ask questions in reference to this assignments, and I will engage these weekly discussions in order to help you to answer your questions. But you can answer the questions and create comments for and reply to other students if you know the answer. If it's something that's assignment related and you know exactly what to do, then you can do that. You can give other students helpful instructions about the assignment or navigating through Centennial or anything course related. You don't have to wait for me to answer it, okay? So if you know the answer, then please do share with others. Here are some, here I also want you to, this week I want you to provide an example of an ethical or moral dilemma, something that I have already talked about, maybe a link to something online. What is the dilemma? Why? What are the ethical elements? Why is this a dilemma? So I want you to give an example, okay? Short description or a short link and a description why you think such a such case of whatever it is happening around the world or locally or in your life. Just give an example of an ethical dilemma and why you think it is an ethical dilemma. This is a good practice run before you start your assignment to get you thinking about the assignment. So again, this can be related to movies, songs, articles, books, history, advertising, real life, anything as long as it has this element of a dilemma. So where there are 2 or 3 different options possible as ways of solving the dilemma or coming to a solution or a resolution for a dilemma. Okay, I've included here a few examples. Some of these links don't work. Unfortunately, I will get rid of them today, but some of them work and I will leave them or add more. And again, the weekly discussion where you can ask any questions and students can answer as well. Okay, so please keep this professional and respectful because you are in a school setting. This is not social media. And this is a professional setting. So please conduct yourself in a professional and respectful manner. Okay, week 2. There is more content on ethical frameworks. I want you to study this, go over the content and videos. Again, there's a self-check quiz here, just as there is at the end of each week, and a weekly discussion. Additional resources, if you need more, then you already have here. So that's basically it for the next 4 weeks. So again, you have a quiz due by the end of next week, and then week 4 is your assignment number 1 due, which is on ethical dilemma and solving an ethical dilemma. But before you can solve the ethical dilemma, before you can solve your ethical dilemma, that is, you need to study the ethical theories, utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics, in order to have an idea what the theories are about and which one you would like to use to solve your ethical dilemma in the assignment. Now, you will also be able to ask questions on Wednesdays. And if you can't come to online on Wednesdays for office hours, then you can, of course, shoot me an email or use the weekly discussion, and I will check them on a regular basis and provide responses. But students can also provide responses to their own to each other's questions. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the moment. Again, I will create videos like this from time to time, explaining assignments or explaining concepts, ideas to help you. And I will post them. These are going to be either posted as MP4s, or I will basically post them, transfer them into YouTube, and you'll be able to watch them on YouTube. Either way, I will do that today with this video for you. All right, I think that's it for today. I think I've covered the most important items. So again, welcome. I hope to see some of you on Wednesday, and I'm sure I will hear from you on the weekly discussions and also through email. So welcome, and stay safe, and remember, be diligent and organized. Take care now.